It's that time of the year again. With 2024 coming up very soon, I felt like it was time for me to sit down and reflect just where I'm at when it comes to minimalism and simple living and which products I don't want to be buying anymore next year. I always find this to be super helpful whenever the new year approaches, not necessarily as this super strict list that I absolutely have to stick to no matter what, but more something to help me be more intentional. Maybe I already have enough of those things, or I just find them to be not worth it, not provide me enough value anymore. And also, I always like these kind of anti-haul, de-influencing kind of videos, so I felt like making one today as well. So here are 24 things I'm not buying in 2024, and as always, feel free to use this list as inspiration for you to come up with some things that you also don't want to be buying next year. So this year I also had a no buy / low buy list, but then we bought an apartment and everything changed. So I will be sharing a video very soon where I share everything that I bought and everything that I decluttered this year as a minimalist, and there were definitely some surprises there, but I think that's okay. So if you aren't already, feel free to subscribe down below so you won't miss it when that video goes up. And today's video is kindly sponsored by Skillshare, and I will chat more about them later. Number 1, fake plants. So this year I did something that I honestly thought I would never do, and that is buy a bunch of fake plants. I have one right there behind me in the office and a couple in the kitchen. The reason that I got them is that I wanted to brighten up certain areas in the home, but I already have so many real plants that I just didn't want to add to my plant caring workload. And so I figured fake plants don't require any work and they're still like nice and green, so why not? And to be honest, I don't love them. I don't get anything from these things that I get from real plants. They just feel kind of dead to me. They also don't look that realistic. So I will probably keep the ones I have, but I definitely won't be purchasing any more. It doesn't give me anything that I get from a real plant. I did actually end up getting a new plant, a monstera, and I love it so much. It's sprouting all kinds of new leaves. It's just really cool. Number 2, cleaning supplies. So when we were in the process of moving here, there was a brief period when we had to clean 2 apartments. So the one that we were leaving and the one that we were going into, so that this one would be clean when we were to move in and with all of our stuff. But since we don't own a car, I just wasn't going to be lugging cleaning supplies back and forth on public transportation. So we kind of just bought a lot of doubles. This means that now we have a huge amount of cleaning supplies, and I just want to use them all up before I buy any new ones. So this is a classic use it up challenge, really helpful for anything that you have in your home where you just have a lot of that, to try to get your inventory back to zero before you're allowed to get anything else, and that is what we are going to do with all of the cleaning supplies. Grocery deliveries. Now that we've moved a few times over, I did briefly consider getting our groceries delivered, but I decided against it mainly for the reason that right now, getting our groceries is the reason that we have to go out because we both work from home, and so getting our groceries like once every other day on foot is a great way for us to get our walks and our exercise. And if we got them delivered, there wouldn't be a real reason for us to leave the house. And I know for myself, especially if it's like rainy and windy, which it is often here, especially now in the Netherlands, I just know for myself that I'm not going to go out and get my walk. So I like that now when we go get our groceries, it takes like an hour, we're walking there, walking back, and it's a great way to get our exercise in. Number 4, cookbooks. I used to say that I didn't want to own any cookbooks because you can just as easily find recipes online, and I kind of changed my mind about that a little bit because I actually really enjoy the 3 cookbooks that I have now. I think it's a lot of fun to cook from a cookbook. I have one for basic budget meals, and then I have one for both of my favorite cuisines, which are Japanese and Italian. But now that I have these 3, I really feel like I have the bases covered. I don't want any more, because the danger with cookbooks is that you can get all of these like super specific cookbooks that you use once or twice and then never again, like a cookbook for muffins and a cookbook for juices and a cookbook for different kinds of pesto and things like that. You can easily end up with a whole bunch of random cookbooks that you never use, and that's something I don't want. Number 5, a gym membership. Earlier this year, I did kind of debate whether or not I wanted to join a gym because we live closer to one now, but I decided against it because the threshold for me to exercise is so much lower if I can just do it at home. Just roll out my yoga mat, get on my workout clothes, do the workout, take a shower, and I'm done. It's free, it's easy, it's quick, and I just love it so much more than if I had to go to a gym. I know myself better than that. I don't think I'm going to go that often. Number 6, alcohol. This is not a complete no buy for me, but definitely a low buy because I've never really been the type of person who drinks a lot, and I also never drink more than 1 glass at a time. But I did decide to cut down my alcohol consumption even more this year. So over the last 6 months or so, I would say I've had like maybe 3 or 4 drinks total. And I really like that. I prefer to have a drink only as an exception, so I still enjoy the taste of like good glass of scotch or a specialty beer or like a fancy cocktail, and I do enjoy sharing it with friends. So every once in a while I think it's okay, but I really want it to be as an exception and not something that you just do on a random Tuesday evening. I'm a big morning person. I love waking up early and starting the day off right. I like feeling refreshed and awake and happy and excited to start my day, and I do notice that if I've had a drink the night before, I just wake up feeling a little groggy. Sometimes I have a bit of a headache, I'm a little bit more tired, I'm not as motivated to work out or do something, and that's just not a feeling that I think is worth it. So only on special occasions or when sharing it with a friend or things like that, and otherwise none for me. Number 7, video games. I included this on last year's list as well, and I'm still not done playing all of the games that I still had, so I'm going to keep using it for the next year too. The kind of games I like to play usually take a long time to finish, and I'm also the kind of person who likes to play games that I've already played like a couple years before. So I'm pretty confident that I can keep playing my video games with all the ones that I still have without buying any new ones. So that's what I'm going to do. Kind of like a use it up challenge here as well. Number 8, furniture. So when we moved here, we brought a lot of furniture with us, but I also replaced a lot of stuff that was old or used up or that I just felt like wouldn't work in this new space. We also have an office now, so I bought some office stuff, and I really love every piece that's in my home now. I'm obsessed with them still, and I really think that I won't be buying any new ones or replacing anything in the next years and years to come. Number 9, unhealthy snacks and junk food. I will keep this short since I did mention it already a bunch of times on the channel, but we've had this rule of not buying unhealthy snacks and junk food with our regular groceries for a couple years now, and it worked out really well, so I definitely want to keep doing that next year too. It helped us to lose some weight that we had gained over the last couple of years and keep it off as well. So we only get something now if we have someone coming over or if it's a special occasion, just not with our regular weekly groceries. It also helped me with my digestion and my skin and my energy levels, and I have to admit that this year, ever since moving into this place, we did make a bunch more exceptions than I would have ideally liked. So this is a good opportunity for me to say, okay, I want to go back to that and have this be on the list next year as well. Food delivery apps. It is very rare that we order food in, but now that we live here, we do live closer to a pretty good vegan sushi place or a place that has vegan sushi. So sometimes if we want to celebrate something, we will order sushi from them, but it is always so much better to order it through the actual restaurant themselves instead of through a third-party app. These apps charge a really big amount to the restaurant in order for them to use their services. So either the restaurant just gets a really bad deal, or they charge you more to make up for that, and then you get a really bad deal. So if you can, try ordering food from the restaurant themselves. It's better for you and it's better for them. Number 11, holiday decor. This is super personal. If you love this stuff, absolutely go nuts. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know, I just find that I'm not really looking forward to decorating here. And having a bunch of decorating stuff that I have to store away the rest of the year, it's just, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. If I want to get cozy, I like just lighting a few candles, grabbing some blankets, you know, making a cup of tea, things like that. I don't really feel like I need the holiday decor. So we have decluttered almost all of the things that we had, and we didn't even have that much. So I think that's enough, and I don't really feel like I am going to be purchasing any more holiday decor this year or next year. Number 12, a new phone. Because of my work, I actually have 2 phones. I know I'm a bad minimalist. I have one for my personal life and one for work, so that if I don't want to work or get like notifications and stuff, I can just turn that off. And my personal phone I have for a couple years now. It still works great, but unfortunately this year I did have to replace my work phone. It was 5 years old and it just, yeah, I couldn't use it anymore, so I had to get a new one, and I really hope to be able to use that one for the next 5 years. My personal phone as well, it has a lot of life in it still, I think, so I don't plan on purchasing a new phone next year, or hopefully the years after that. Now that we are halfway in the video, I want to quickly tell you about Skillshare, who have very kindly agreed to sponsor today's video. They are an online learning platform with thousands and thousands of fantastic classes, and they have been my go-to place for years now if there's something that I want to learn, either for my personal life or for my work as a creative. Maybe you want to get into a new hobby and learn photography, or you want to learn how to make your own clothing, or you want to give watercolor a try. Or maybe you want to take your career into a new direction and you want to learn how to code or make a living with your own creative business. Skillshare has classes for all levels for basically whatever you want to learn about. What I love about watching a class on Skillshare is that it gives me a starting point, because oftentimes when we feel like there's something that we are interested in and we think like, yeah, I want to learn that someday, but we never actually end up doing it because it's just difficult to know where to start, or the whole thing just kind of seems very overwhelming and daunting and we don't do it. But if I am interested in something, I just watch a Skillshare class or two and they give me a starting point to where I'm actually going to learn the thing. So let's say that you have some goals for next year, things you want to work on, then it could be very helpful for you to learn to be more productive in a healthy way. So you could watch Brooke Glacier's class, where she teaches you skills and techniques to deal with procrastination, lack of motivation, overwhelm, and distractions without burning yourself out. Skillshare has given me a really good deal to share with you for today's video, so the first 500 people to click my link in the description box will not only get 30 days for free, but you will also get 50% off on your first year of Skillshare. So really big thanks to Skillshare for being a long-term supporter of the channel. Let's get back to the video. Lucky number 13, jewelry. I've been using the same pieces for a couple years now and I'm still very happy with them. I feel like I don't necessarily have a lot, but I have plenty. I have a few necklaces and rings to choose from. These earrings, I just wear the same ones every day. I don't really wear watches or things like that. I love accessorizing with a few beautiful pieces, but once you have them and you're happy with them, I don't see the need to get any more. So that is going to be a no buy for me next year. Alexa or Siri. I have a very strong dislike of smart things that can hear what I'm saying. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but it just icks me out a little bit. So even if I'm the only person in the world who doesn't use them, I'm just not going there. I feel like I can think for myself, I can look things up for myself. I don't need something in the house that can hear what I'm saying. I know that for some people these things really work out and they help out a bunch in different ways, and that is great. So if it works for you, definitely keep using it, but I am not going there. Number 15, a robot vacuum. This was actually a bit of a miss for us this year, to be honest. We did have one, but I really tried. I didn't end up liking it. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why it didn't work out for us because the video would be too long, but let's just say that for something that is supposed to be smart, I think it only really works if what you need it to do and what it is able to do really match very well. And for me, it was just way too much effort in order to use it. So when our 10-year-old vacuum broke, we actually ended up going for a cordless stick vacuum and selling our robot vacuum, and this works out a lot better for us and our vacuuming needs. I know some people say that the robot vacuum changed their life, and that was honestly my expectation when we got one. I figured, you know, it's just one less thing to have to do and worry about and always have clean floors. And for some people it does work like that. So if you're one of those, definitely keep using it. I'm just here to say that, you know, maybe it doesn't work for everyone, so give it a good amount of thought before you decide to purchase one of them and really see that what it's able to do, is that exactly what you want it to do? Because if there is like a disconnect there, it's going to be a lot of effort just to use it. Number 16, a Fitbit. Another example of something that many people love, and if that's you, that's great. It's just not something that I want. It's difficult to explain, but when it comes to feeling healthy and things like that, I want to practice being mindful of the signs that my body is giving me and really feel connected to my body myself instead of having a device tell me how I'm feeling or how I'm doing. It's just one of those things that I feel like if this didn't exist, I would never probably be thinking like, oh, I wish I had something that tells me how I slept or what my heart rate is like or how many steps I took today. It's just not something that I am interested in. So even if it's out there and everyone has one, it's just not interesting to me. I'm also a bit of a hypochondriac, so if I had something where I could see like my heart rate all day, I don't think that that would be good for my mental health. And I actually think that probably the thing that would lower my heart rate is taking the Fitbit off. Number 17, makeup. I have a very simple and minimal makeup routine now that I just really like. And so the products that I am using, I will repurchase them once they're used up, but I'm not going to try out a bunch of different brands and a bunch of different products that I'm not already using and trying different shades and doing the research and all of that stuff. I like how simple it is now, just repurchasing the things I already know and love and not really care about any of the other stuff. Number 18, foot cream and hand cream. If these specific creams work for you, great to keep using them, but I used to buy like specific creams for specific things because I trusted the marketing. So I figured like this is a hand cream, so it must be good for my hands, and this is a foot cream, so it must be good for my feet. But now I just use the same hydrating lotion for everything, and honestly, I never really noticed a difference. I'm no expert on this, but I think it's most likely all basically the same thing. I have a lotion from Biodermal that I really like, and I was recently gifted a body oil and a body butter from Osea, and these products are really, really good. I'm not sponsored or anything, but they did send me them for free just to try out, and my skin has never felt better, so I'm really happy with them, and I just use them all over my body. I just don't feel like I need like specific creams for specific things, as long as you have a product that really works well on your type of skin, which these products do for me. I have very dry skin naturally, and these are so hydrating, so I'm very happy with them. Number 19, handbags, purses, and backpacks. I've been using the same ones for years now, and I still really like them. They are starting to show a little bit of wear and tear now, which honestly is surprising because my backpack, for example, I've used almost daily for like 3 years now or 4 years, I can't remember. But only if you look really closely, otherwise you cannot see the wear and tear. And I really like just having one small purse, one backpack, and one bigger backpack for traveling. It's easy because I never lose things or have to move things from one bag to the other, and I will just keep using those until the wear and tear is really starting to show more, and somehow the pink, it kind of goes with everything. So yeah, I'm really happy with them still. Number 20, dishes and flatware. We upgraded a bunch of this stuff in 2022, and I still really like them. Ever since moving in here, I find that we still have enough and they meet our needs. So I decided that this is going to be a no-buy for me next year. This is probably the only one on the list that is actually going to be a little bit hard for me, probably because I love this stuff. It is my weakness. So Wish me luck. Number 21, pens, stationery, and notebooks. This one has been on my list for I think a couple years now, and it is because I had enough and I just wanted to use up everything that I had before buying anything new in this category. And it has lasted me so long, not because I had so much of it, but because I use it so little. I used to be a big bullet journaler, but actually I find that I'm not really doing it that much, so I'm using up these notebooks for just random scribbles, or if I have to make a list or something. Like, I'm using up everything that I have, but I really think that it's going to be a while before I have to buy anything new in this category because I'm just not really writing that much anymore. Number 22, trendy home decor. Just like with fashion, home decor also has its trends. So right now I think it's like you see these little cute things always, like the kawaii things, and there are mushrooms everywhere for some reason, and like these plastic see-through containers that have the little holes in them, and a bunch more things like the squiggly spoons and the squiggly mirrors and things like that, and I just don't want to participate in any of them next year. When it comes to home stuff, I think there's nothing wrong with buying decor or just furniture or things that make your home look beautiful. I think it's very important because I'm here so much. So it's not that, but I do just want to be mindful when I do buy something for my home. Is this something that I'm going to be using and loving for years to come? And usually with those trends, they're like a little bit funky, or you know, it's nice now, but a year from now I'm just not gonna like it anymore, and I think that's a waste. So not participating in the trendy home decor stuff next year. Fillers and Botox. I feel like I need to be really careful with this one about how I word it, because I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with this. If it makes you happy, you do you. It is your body, it is your face, and you are the only person who has to decide if you want to do that or not. The reason I included it on this list is that I've actually considered it. Not seriously considered it, but it has crossed my mind. And that is because so many people that I know personally and people I see online of my age are doing this. It is becoming very normal. It's almost like getting your nails done, you know, getting your lips filled or getting a little Botox like around your eyes or stuff. And you know, I did think like, maybe I should get started with this, or you know how they say with Botox you're supposed to start like before you're getting all the lines so that you can prevent them from coming, at least somewhat. And yeah, I did consider it, but I very quickly decided I'm not gonna do it. And there are different reasons for getting it. For example, a friend of mine gets Botox right here so that she cannot really frown, because that was giving her massive headaches, and now she doesn't have the headaches anymore, which makes perfect sense. I don't really have a reason like that. It would just be for cosmetic reasons. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, I want to age. I want to embrace aging, if that makes sense. I don't want to fight against it. I do want to take good care of my skin. I don't want to get more wrinkles than I would naturally get, if that makes sense. You know, I do want to moisturize and stuff. But I don't want any fillers, I don't want any Botox, I don't want things injected into my face, into my body. I believe that the risk is pretty low, but that stuff can like wander around, and it's relatively new. I don't really trust that it is going to be very safe for me for the rest of my life. And I also feel like it's another thing to do and to keep up and to pay for and to go to. So, you know, if I did all the things, I would have a Botox appointment every 3 months and a filler appointment every 2 months and a haircut every 4 months and my nails every month and a pedicure every 2 months and just all the things. I would basically be going from one appointment to the next my whole life, and that is not something that I really want to be spending my time or my money on. And I also just want to embrace how I look. I want to embrace aging. Aging is a gift. It is something to be grateful for. I really think that. And instead of focusing on little insecurities about our body or our face or the way we look, that is not the seed I want to water in my own self, in my own psyche. The seed that I want to water is the seed of gratitude and happiness and being grateful for the fact that I'm healthy, that my body allows me to do everything I want to do instead of focusing on how it looks or if I'm getting like smile lines or things like that. I hope it made sense. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I just wanted to include it because it has been on my mind, but I very quickly decided against it and I feel very strongly about it, so that's why I wanted to include it. Also to let you know that of course it's fine if you want to do that, but I feel like so many women just do it because everyone is doing it now, and I feel like we owe ourselves a bit more consideration before we decide something like that. And number 24 is animal products or products that are not cruelty-free. I thought I'd include this. Obviously, I've been vegan for a while. It is one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. I'm still very happy with that choice. And I will continue to not buy animal products next year too. Obviously, this goes for food, but also for clothing, beauty items, making sure as best I can that these products have not been tested on animals. I just don't feel right having an animal suffer so that I can eat it or that I can wear something. I just don't feel like that's something that I want to contribute to. Actually, this year I turned 35 and I realized that I went vegetarian when I was 15, so that means that I haven't eaten meat in 20 years, and that is a long time. So that is pretty cool. I've been vegan for about 5 years, and I was wondering if this is something that you would want some more info about from me, maybe like a Q&A style video, judgment free of course. So if that's something that you are interested in, a video where everyone could be welcome and get some helpful tips and inspiration, then let me know in the comments please, and I can make a video like that someday. And of course, let me know if there are things that you won't be buying next year, or if there's something on my list that you actually do want to buy next year. I would love to hear that too, so leave that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, then you can also consider supporting the channel by joining us on Patreon. You will instantly get access to all the videos that I've posted over the years on there. It's getting close to 100, I think, plus 2 new ones every month, and it's a lot of fun. There are vlogs, tea time chats, deep dives into all different kinds of topics having to do with minimalism and simple living and all of that stuff. So it is a lot of fun. You can join for $5 a month, and that helps me to pay for all the business expenses that have to do with running your own YouTube channel. So you can go to patreon.com/simplehappyzen if you want to join. And remember to check out Skillshare and get 30 days for free plus 50% off on your first year, link in the description box. As always, thank you so much for being here. Questions, comments, conversations down below. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all again next week. Bye bye. Oh my gosh, is there anything better than risotto balls? Just risotto in general just always gets me, but then when they put it into a ball and they fry it, it is just like, there's nothing better.